for getting a higher education. It is time to hit the reset button. Under the proposal that we introduced today, all student debt would be canceled in 6 months.
But most economists say it isn't that simple. Bold Media business editor David Grasso joins me now to explain and break down why Bernie's plan won't work. So the plan is tax Wall Street.
Yeah,
why is that a bad thing?
Well, you know, this is an old tired plan that was introduced in France and Italy and didn't work out so well. In fact, there's two problems with financial transaction taxes. One of them is they don't raise enough revenue, okay? And number two is that they distort markets. And the stock market is one of the bright spots in our economy. And remember, regular people like you and me, not just rich people, invest most of our savings in the stock market.
Yeah.
Of course, and retirees and any pension fund. If you're in a union in some, Rust Belt state, it's likely that your savings are in the stock market. And the problem becomes if you start distorting these markets, it's not just the rich that pay, we also pay. So these are old, tired ideas. There's a bunch of academic papers out there that say financial transaction taxes lower liquidity and actually raise volatility. And on top of it, they don't raise the money that we need for this plan. And he said in 6 months, his plan calls to raise the money over 10 years. So most likely the sum of money would be borrowed. Additionally, I hate to drone on here, this only covers past debt. It covers future debt as it pertains to public education, but not private education. So we're pressing the reset button only to kick the can down the road further.
Well, let's look at some numbers here real quick. The average college student in this country has about almost $30,000 in debt, $29,800. And we've got, as we said in the intro, $1.6 trillion in total outstanding student loan debt in this country as of June 2019. There is a lot of animosity towards Wall Street. So, especially after the market crash, it's easy to see why an idea like this gets traction.
Well, and this was one of the things that we keep on returning to, but unfortunately, we all depend on Wall Street, and it's really hard to walk away from that. Yeah. We were all angry when we had to bail out the banks, but bailing out everyone out of student loans, while it sounds like a great idea, is harder to do than bailing out Wall Street.
Let me ask you this. Because we do have a problem. It costs too much money to go to college, but is this the same thing as healthcare, where they're trying to give healthcare away for free? Should they instead be focusing on making the cost of education and the cost of healthcare lower rather than just handing it out to everybody?
Have you ever heard the saying, if you want to make something expensive, make it free? And I think that's the case with healthcare and education. And here's the problem. We have a blank check for not only students, but also institutions with zero accountability. Get this degree, and supposedly you're supposed to get a job. But that's not exactly how it plays out, as we've painfully learned over and over again, even in our own families. So I think it's time to hold institutions accountable for their outcomes and address the problem rather than the symptom of the problem, which is student loans.